The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, Lord.
Jesus said to his disciples, "There will be signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars, and on earth nations will be in dismay, perplexed by the roaring of the sea and the waves. People will die of fright in anticipation of what is coming upon the world. The powers of the heavens will be shaken. And then they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. But when these signs happen, stand erect and raise your heads, because your redemption is at hand. Beware that your hearts do not become drowsy from carousing and drunkenness and the anxieties of daily life, and that day catch you by surprise like a trap. For that day will assault everyone who lives on the face of the earth. Be vigilant at all times, and pray that you will have the strength to escape the tribulations that are imminent, and to stand before the Son of Man." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
September 5th. September 5th, 1977. A long time ago. Well, maybe not that long. September 5th, 1977, NASA launched a satellite. The satellite was called Voyager 1. The purpose of this satellite was to go out and explore deep space. And so off it went. On February 14th, 1990, so a number of years later, February 14th, 1990, Valentine's Day, Voyager 1 was 3.7 billion miles from the Earth. 3.7 billion miles. It was about to leave the solar system. It was doing what it was sent out to do. And it turned and looked back at the Earth and took its last picture. A picture of the Earth 3.7 billion miles away. That picture is famous. It was named the pale blue dot. That's us. It's the Earth as it appeared to Voyager 1 as it sailed out of the solar system into very, very deep space. It's still out there. It's still functioning. Once in a while, it'll wake up and start sending messages back to NASA. Seems to be a random thing. All of a sudden, it just perks up, starts sending messages back about, well, how it's doing, how your battery's working, what's going on around you. Just sort of taking scientific readings. And then it goes back to sleep. NASA estimates that it will keep doing this till 2030. We have cars that can't get past 10 years without breaking down. But this little Voyager, it's still out there, working just as it was made, doing what it was supposed to do, and sending us information back. That idea of going out and looking back is something that Jesus is talking about in the gospel today. Jesus isn't talking about forecasting the future. He's not looking into the future, because for him it's already occurred. What he's doing, like Voyager, is going out into space, so to speak, turning back and looking at us, looking at his people, and telling us what's going to happen. This is going to happen, but he's looking at it from the future. Looking back in, it's already occurred. It's going to be really hard, But he says, don't worry, because I'm going to come for you. So he's looking at us saying, the Son of Man will one day come for you on the clouds of glory. We can use that technique as well in evaluating how we're doing in our spiritual life as we begin this new church year. Brand new year. And we too might, in our imagination, put ourselves way out there in the future and look back on us and think, how are you doing? How's it going for you at this moment? And out there in that future perspective, looking back, then making a judgment about how we are doing. Are we doing what we're supposed to be doing? Are we living the gospel? Are we living in peace with our brothers and sisters? Or have we got caught up into the anger and hatred of the world? So by looking out there in the future and looking back, we can come to a judgment about ourselves. But in order to make that better, now is when we need to change. Not sometime in the future. It may be too late then. But to change now. Now is the time to change. Now it's time to reach out to others, to live in peace with one another, to don't hate anybody. Don't be mean to people. Don't be angry. We can be sad. There's lots to be sad about. But don't be angry. Don't lash out at other people. If you find yourself yelling at the TV or throwing the magazine across the room or stomping your feet, you're not living the gospel. We're to live in peace with one another. We don't need to agree. We can have radical disagreements about how we see the world and the plans for it. But there's no reason to be angry at one another. We should be living in peace. So as we're looking at ourselves from the future, now is the time to change whatever we need to. So in that future perspective, we can feel good about ourselves. We're doing the best we can, trying to live the gospel, trying to live in peace, not getting caught up in the world's anger and hatred. One of the hardest feelings to experience in this life is regret. Because the issue with regret is that it's too late. You cannot change it. So we don't want that to happen. We don't want to feel regret about how we are today. But change now, so when we look at ourselves from the future, we can be pleased with ourselves and how we're living the gospel each day. What are we supposed to be doing? Well, St. Paul tells us in his letters to the Thessalonians. It says, may the Lord make you increase and abound in love for one another and for all. For all. Not just the people in your group, not just the people who look like you or talk like you or come from where you come from. We are to love with abundance to all people. And that's what we're called to do today as we begin this new church year, is to take a stock of ourselves about how we're doing with that and not get caught up. If something on TV is making you upset, shut it off. Stop watching it for a while. Give yourself a break. If you listen to the radio and what they're saying doesn't fit with what you think and it's upsetting you, shut it off. Go say a prayer, read a book. Go do something else. Take a walk. But don't allow the world to oppress you and to get you all riled up. Because the world will do that, because in the end it makes money that way. So it's important for us to not give over the power of our lives to other people, but to stay in control of our emotions, doing what we need to do to be good Christians, so that when Jesus looks back at us from the future and assesses how we're doing today, he sees faithful Christians, pale blue dots, living out the gospel each day.